Before you sign anything in Korea's Kosdaq market, nearly 1 in 12 listed companies now sits below the threshold for staying listed. Samsung Electronics dropped roughly 8%, and Korea skipped the circuit breaker sidecar entirely. A U.S.-listed active ETF is trailing its own Kosdaq benchmark by almost 12 percentage points. SK Square is walking away from a 50 billion won airport transport business. Hancom just promised shareholders its biggest payout ratio yet. It's Tuesday, August 4th. Here's what investors are watching in Korea today. Korea's financial regulators tightened Kosdaq delisting rules this year, raising the market cap floor and adding a sub-1,000 won stock price test. The Kosdaq index has been a wild ride, spiking above 1,226 in April before crashing back near 645 by month-end. That volatility is now colliding with a wave of individual investors piling into leveraged and single-stock ETFs. Here's what the numbers show. 149 Kosdaq stocks now trade under 1,000 won, and 214 fall below the 20 billion won market cap floor, together representing roughly 1 in 8 listed companies. The Korea Exchange is raising that market cap threshold to 30 billion won, about $21 million, starting in 2027. Individual investors pushed net inflows into Samsung Electronics single-stock ETF products to 2.17 trillion won, more than the 2.1 trillion won they put into the actual share, even as Samsung fell 8% and the Kospi dropped 5%. Tighter deposit requirements cut individual trading in leveraged and inverse products by 93.8% this month. SK Square agreed to sell its airport limousine unit for 50 billion won, about $35 million, as TMAP Mobility refocuses on AI and data. Hancom's board approved a 3-year shareholder return plan targeting a payout ratio in the mid to high 30s, up from 27% last year. So what does this mean for investors tracking Korea's markets? Earlier, we said nearly 1 in 12 Kosdaq firms already sits below the listing bar. Here's what that means for you. The pool of delisting risk stocks only grows once the higher 30 billion won threshold arrives in 2027, meaning more forced M&A ahead. The gap between single-stock ETF demand and Samsung's own share price shows retail money is still chasing volatility despite the new curbs. Watch whether Hancom's payout pledge pushes other laggards toward Korea's 32% market average shareholder return ratio. That's today's AI Prism, Securities Daily. This episode was produced with AI assistance based on Seoul Economic Daily reporting and reviewed by a human editor. AI Prism is a Won IFRA award-winning series. We'll be back tomorrow.